Jubilee bracelet on steel, the difference is like $200-300.
Yeah,
But on the two-tones, it's like $1,000.
it's more gold.
You think that?
We can only speculate. We don't know. But yeah, it's interesting.
But how else would they price their product? Just like this? Hey guys, and welcome to another video. And today we're going to have a closer look of 3 really amazing pieces. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. I am Karar, and I'm sitting here with
Alex.
All right, guys. So let's take a closer look of what we have here. So Alex,
Yeah.
we have 3 beautiful Rolex Sky-Dwellers sitting here with us. Starting from the left, the black dial, two-tone on a Jubilee bracelet.
Yep.
That's a funky setup.
Yeah, it's a novelty as well.
Yeah, got it introduced this year actually.
Correct.
And then we have the black dial on the Oyster bracelet, also two-tone.
Yeah.
This was introduced a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
alongside with the steel and white gold Rolex Sky-Dweller blue dial.
Yeah.
Probably the most popular Rolex Sky-Dweller out there. There's actually one that is more popular. I'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that,
Yeah.
how do you like the Sky-Dweller line, Alex?
It's a cool line, actually. And I mean, back in 2012 when it was introduced, it was actually something brand new from Rolex. It wasn't just a new dial or a new bracelet or anything like that, but it was actually a brand new watch model.
Yeah, and also a very impressive watch model if you consider actually the movement and the complications that these Rolex watches offer. I mean, Rolex isn't really making a name for themselves with making complicated watches, right?
Nope.
That's more Patek's game. But if you look at these Rolex watches, they have a GMT function.
Mm-hmm.
And they also offer an annual calendar function.
Yep.
Which is pretty neat for
an hour, minute, date, and second.
Obviously. Which is pretty neat for just a sports watch, so to speak.
Yeah. It's a cool looking watch. It's a chunky piece, but I mean, it's boasting so many complications in a watch. It's cool, and it's a watch that when it was introduced almost 10 years ago, only came in precious metals. It was a statement from Rolex that this is a flagship model. This is something that, this will cost you a lot of money because this is something new and special.
Exactly.
And after 5 years then, back in 2017, they introduced the Oyster versions in steel and in two-tone.
Yep.
And as you said before, this year, 2021, they introduced the two-tone version and the steel version in Jubilee bracelets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's kind of funny. I mean, we discussed in our last video when we were speaking about the GMT Masters, how Rolex is trying to accommodate their fan base, their customers, so to speak, with different options for their standard models. So they introduced the Jubilee bracelet on the Sky-Dweller line. They introduced the Jubilee bracelets back on the Pepsi, as we spoke about in the last video, which is kind of fun to see the way that Rolex is moving, trying to basically accommodate everybody that likes different styles.
Exactly.
All right, Alex, let's get to the fun part. So today I'm wearing my beautiful Rolex Submariner Hulk. I'm taking this one off. I want to try on the Sky-Dweller and see it on the wrist. So here we go. The blue dial Oyster bracelet Sky-Dweller fitted on the wrist. I mean, you really feel it. It is pretty heavy. And you can see, if you look in the side view, how chunky this watch is. In comparison to a normal Submariner. The normal Submariner is somewhere around 12.5 millimeters in thickness, while this Rolex Sky-Dweller is 14 millimeters in thickness. You
can definitely feel it when you're wearing it.
Yeah.
It's a chunky piece.
Would you wear it with a suit?
Nah, you can't fit under the cuff.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, we have stretch. No, but for me, if you're asking the question if you would wear it with a suit, it's not a typical dress watch for me, so I would definitely not wear it. I couldn't even pull this off if I wanted to with my chicken wrist. So
Yeah.
no, it's yeah.
I mean, obviously, the reason for its thickness it isn't just because Rolex likes to do it thicker. It is the movement that is housed within the casing.
Yeah, of course.
Before we jump in and talk about how you set this watch, let me briefly take a moment and thank our sponsor Chronext for sponsoring this video. Chronext is a watch market platform offering over 7,000 watches readily available from multiple brands. You can find, as an example, these Rolex Sky-Dwellers directly on Chronext. We will leave the link in the description below, and you can also enter the code IFLW at checkout for something extra. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video, Chronext.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, let's talk about how you actually set this watch, because
it's a bit tricky.
It's a bit tricky, and to be honest with you,
I had no clue either.
As a watch guy, when I first saw this, I was like, wow, okay, I had no idea.
It's
and
special.
I saw it the first time for like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was pretty late for me as well. Let me take the new one. I'll show you guys how it works. So the first mode is just winding. And when you pull out the crown another step, nothing happens, okay? When you turn the bezel like this and use the crown, you set the date. Turn it again, you will set the hour hand. And if you turn it one final time, then you move the minute and the GMT hand simultaneously.
Wow, that was something else. So actually setting this timepiece is, I mean, you need to really read the manual.
You have to do your homework.
Exactly. So that was actually really cool. So how do you set the months?
You have to turn the date.
So you need to turn the date.
Yeah.
Every day, 31 days until it jumps, basically.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's amazing. And the month is
displayed above the hour markers with the red dot.
Yeah. So 12 o'clock is December.
Exactly.
1 o'clock is January, and so on.
Exactly.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it. And it's a very impressive watch from a technical standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so one of the biggest talking points about the Sky-Dweller is obviously its price tag. The Sky-Dweller, actually, if you think back to 2017, when the steel version got introduced, it was one of the very first watches from the Rolex lineup that started this premium hype.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I saw the blue one, I was like, oh, wow, I would really love to get this one. And I directly contacted my AD, and the answer was basically, well, you can't actually have this one. We don't get them in, etc., etc. You know the drill. And then when you look at the secondary market, they're slowly starting to climb up. This one, when it came out, it retailed at around $14,000 US. And already the secondary market was trading around $18,000, $19,000 back in 2017 when it got introduced. This was very new for an absolutely new model to just come out.
Kind of strange feeling as well. That's like, what? I can't even get a discount. Exactly. I can't even get it.
Yeah. So nowadays, if you look actually at their price tag, so I'm gonna basically walk you through these three models that we have here in front of us. Obviously, if you have some knowledge, you know the steel with the white gold one is the most expensive one sitting out of these three. And if you look at the retail prices for the two-tone models, they differ slightly. The Jubilee bracelet is approximately $1,000 more expensive than the Oyster bracelet. But if you look at the secondary market, the Oyster bracelet is very, very close to its retail price. You can actually go on Chronext and get this Oyster bracelet for retail price, which is a fair price point. But when it comes to the Jubilee is trading approximately $4,000 above its retail price. And this is where it gets interesting. If you look at the Rolex steel with white gold version, the retail price is somewhere around 18,000 US dollars, depending on where you pick your retail price from. But the market value of this one is closer to 28 to 30,000 US dollars for the steel and the white gold version.
With the blue dial.
With the blue dial,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And what is even more crazy is that the new, we don't have it sitting here, but the new steel version on the Jubilee bracelet is trading at somewhere around 30, 32, 34,000 US dollars, which is nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts. But as we know, and as might be the case here, is that we've seen that, and we've mentioned it before, always with the novelties.
Yeah.
They start very high.
Yeah.
And find a way down a
Yeah.
bit and stabilize. But I agree, it's really, really crazy.
And the funny thing is the retail price difference between the Oyster and Jubilee bracelet on steel, the difference is like $300.
Yeah.
But on the two tones, it's like $1,000.
It's more gold.
You think that?
I don't know.
Must be. I mean, it must be much
yeah.
harder to do on the gold version.
Could be. We can only speculate. We don't know. But yeah, it's interesting.
How else would they price their product? Just like this?
I don't know. Could be something in the production with the Jubilee bracelet, the links or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to tell, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see in a couple of years where we have the Sky-Dwellers.
Absolutely.
Especially the steel version, because two-tone, historically speaking, hasn't been the hottest models on the secondary market.
Yeah.
But
keep in mind, trends like that are coming back, cyclical.
Of course.
So you literally never know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
So Alex, let's round this up with the simple question.
Which one would I pick?
No. Why do we think these ones are trading above retail? Is it simply a shortage, or?
Yeah, for the two-tone version on Jubilee.
No, I mean
generally
the Sky-Dweller line, right?
Yeah, but I think also, I mean, the blue dial version in steel has been one of the horses that has been dragging this hype train, forward and pushing the prices up. So I don't know, but I think it's the shortage, and it's a cool watch with cool complications. It's a good-looking watch as well.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's a statement piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And I think this is just the term big boy watch, understand me correctly. I think you really need to have a good wrist size to be able to pull off the Sky-Dwellers.
Yeah.
Our wrist size is around 6.5 inches. I mean, we could pull it off, don't get me wrong, but we're the type of guys that likes to have slightly more modern.
It would look like the Sky-Dweller was wearing me and not the other way around.
Yeah, remember guys, the watch should not be wearing you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a chunky piece. It's cool. It's exclusive. It's everything. So yeah.
It ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in and checking out this video. It means a lot to us. Please don't forget, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That would mean even more to us. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you next time.
Thank you.